Alright, what's going on? It is Friday, 8th of November here in US of A, and we've got the next limited time series available, and it is for an old classic Lamborghini Countach. So this limited time series will run for a week. So it's obviously open now, and it will end next. Well, for me, it'll be next Friday, the 15th of November. But if you're further east on the Tomorrowland, for you guys, the event will end on the Saturday, the 16th. So check your calendar, plan accordingly. This car, to bring the PR up to meet the requirement, if you don't own the car already, it will take a while, because there are lots of, the nice thing is that there are a lot of racing dollar upgrades available on this car, but the downside of that is it's going to take forever and a day to get all the upgrades required to complete the event. So make sure you get going right away, getting all the necessary upgrades. So I already have this car fully upgraded on two of my main playing accounts, because this car's been in the game for quite some time now. And considering this car is now presented to us in limited time series format, as opposed to I believe the special event originally, when this car was first introduced to the game, it was called the Retro Rivals or something like that. And considering that this limited time series is showing up in the game, I have a feeling if you miss out on this event to win this car through this limited time series, then next time we see this, I have a feeling, see the car in the event archive, I have a feeling it'll show up as a limited time series as opposed to the special event rerun. So yeah, which obviously does require higher PR. So you need to get more, you need to spend more to win this. But anyway, so the gold reward for completing the series to help us along the way is going to be 50 gold, which isn't bad considering the cost of the car and cost of the upgrade. So I'll just run through it real quick, and looks like for my third account I will be receiving a red Countach to take out on the road, which is cool. So yeah, earn a 1985 Lamborghini Countach by 100% completing this special limited time series. Named after Piedmontese, word used to express surprise, the Countach certainly surprised the world with its daring design and groundbreaking performance. Yeah, this car was like the epitome of the sports supercar when I was growing up back in the 70s and 80s. So have a soft spot for this car in my heart. But anyway, here's the breakdown of the 50 gold prize in 25% completion increment, and the racing dollar reward is actually 100,000. So if you need that to help you along the way, well, it's there for you. Alright, so let's use the gold to complete the series right away, so we can quickly run through the series and find out what we need to find out. Right. Cool. And this car is featured in 4 different limited time bonus series, which is quite impressive, right? So they're all gonna be in Legends section of your career, and they're all bonus series, no big box main career series. So we got Clash of the Classics, which, as you can see, is gonna feature also another Lamborghini Miura here. And Supercar Classic Clash, as we can see, that one's gonna feature the Jaguar, the XJ. What is that model number for that car? 220, is it? And then 80s poster exotics. The pictured here is, of course, Testarossa. And Lamborghini Legends. Of course, we recently unlocked that one by winning the Diablo SV that we see here. So none of these features series really feature Countach, but that's okay. So let's check into this limited time series, the final tier, tier 15, the last race. The cup is gonna be at the 24-hour circuit, Le Mans. 2 laps with this car is gonna take forever and a day. I'm anticipating, I don't know, 4-minute lap time, something crazy like that. But what's the PR requirement? 40.5. So all right, that is exactly what they have published on their website, so that's good to know. And the base PR, we're starting at 19.9, and to get this car's PR all the way up to 40.5, I believe you need to get just about every upgrade except for the last upgrade in engine and body. So tier 8 and tier 7 we can skip, which both are, by the way, both gold upgrades at the end. Yeah, and the total cost of upgrading this car to meet the PR requirement is 195 gold and 1,072,300 racing dollars. And as I said, those racing dollar upgrades, combined R&D time is gonna be, you guys ready for this one? 2 days, 21 hours and 30 minutes. That's nearly 3 days for R&D time on all the upgrades. Obviously the beginning ones are pretty quick. We have well, here, let's check in. So first tier is going to be 1 hour upgrade. So we got that racing dollar upgrades available for every tier. And by the way, you can bring this car's PR up to 30.1 using racing dollar upgrades alone, for the cost of 430,300 racing dollars. And that is total of 15 out of whopping 34 available upgrades. So this car's a lot of upgrades. So anyway, let's get these first tier upgrades going, which is going to total add up to 134,100 racing dollars. So here's the body and suspension, exhaust, brakes, and tires and wheels. Alright, so we're starting with a base PR of 19.9. So if we get them done right away, it brings our PR up to what? 24.6. So let's 24.6, punch that into my calculation here. So that brings the PR up to, well, that's a boost of 4.7 PR point. So that's the first tier. And in the last 2 categories, brakes and tires and wheels, the second tier upgrades are gonna be gold. So for the time being, we'll skip those. But the others, 2 hours and 30 minutes for the racing dollar upgrades. So let's get the tier 2 upgrades going here. And the total's gonna be 151,400 racing dollars for these guys. So suspension or exhaust, so those are all racing dollars, but the final 2 is gonna be gold. So 6 gold, I mean, not terribly expensive. 6 and 7 gold, so maybe I should just get them at the beginning, since I already told you guys what the PR is gonna be with the racing dollars alone. So if you skip those and just keep going with the racing dollar upgrades on the other categories, you can bring it all the way up to once again 30.1, right? So let's get these done right away. So that brings PR up to 28. All right, so that is with still racing dollar upgrades alone. And as you can see, next tier, third tier upgrades are gonna be also racing dollars for our R&D this time. Let's see, and the body now has a gold upgrade though, but the other categories, suspension still racing dollars, exhaust is back now gold because it's the last tier upgrade. And of course, brakes and tires and wheels, we're still stuck with the first tier upgrade, since the second tier was the gold upgrade there. So let's get all the second tier upgrades done, right? So I'll just get the couple of gold upgrades for the cost of what? There was 6 and 7, so 13 gold. And now that brings my PR up to 29.2. So 29.2. And that is a boost of 4.6 PR point for that one. So now let's get third tier upgrades. So this is once again 4-hour R&D time on the racing dollar upgrades. Drivetrain, we're still good. Body's got the 10 gold upgrades, so we'll wait on that one for the time being. We'll get the suspension, and then exhaust is also gold, 12, and brakes and tires and wheels. Now we can go ahead with those racing dollar upgrades, and we'll get those done right away. And that brings the PR up to 32.6. And if we add those gold upgrades for body and exhaust, those were it, right? Yeah, then we got 3 upgrades across the board, which brings the PR up to 33.9. So that is a boost of 4.7 PR points for the third tier upgrades. And we got to go all the way up to 40.5, right? So let's keep on going. Now we're going to start seeing gold upgrades on engine. So let's see. Drivetrain is the final dead end for 20 gold. Body has the racing dollar upgrade here. And I think that's the only racing dollar upgrade available on this car now, right? Because the rest are all the final tier upgrades. So get that done, which brings the PR up to 34.4. Get the gold for engine. So this is the 4th tier upgrades. So max out drivetrain, also max out suspension, max out brakes, max out tires and wheels. And so with the 4 tiers of upgrades, PR is up to 37.7, and that is a boost of 3.8 PR points, since we are not getting as many upgrades right now. We just need to keep going with the remaining categories of engine and body. So let's go ahead with engine, which is 12 hours for the tier 5 engine upgrade. And body, of course, is gold, so we get that done right away. So here, let's complete that right away and get the body gold upgrade. So we got only one more upgrade left on the body. But here, with those upgrades, PR is up to 38.8. So that is just a 1.1 PR point boost. And then now tier 6, we'll go ahead and get the engine upgrade, which unlocks that tier 7 racing dollar upgrade. And we'll get the last 18-hour upgrade on the body, the racing dollars. So yes, that is up to 39.9. And finally, we just need to get one more 7th upgrade, which is that racing dollar upgrade, which is gonna take a full day. And as you can see, the PR goes up to 40.5. Right, so there you go. We don't have to get the last gold upgrade on the engine, which is 105. That's the most expensive upgrade available on this car. And the last tier body upgrade, which is 50 gold, which is also, well, that'll be the second most expensive upgrade on this car. So we can skip out on those two. We don't need that. And with a PR 40.5, you can complete the Clash of the Classics bonus series and that one gives us 60 gold for 100% completion, assuming that you own the other cards featured in the series. And Supercar Classic Clash, we're not going to go very far in that one because the maximum PR required is actually 57. And I believe XJ220, the Jaguar, might be the only car that can reach that. Either that or that and the Porsche 959 Sport. So those two cars are in kind of different category, even though they're in the same series. And then 80s Poster Exotics. That one requires PR requirement of 42.3, so we'll probably be able to get 75% completion done on that one, which means we can get probably like out of 60 gold available, you can get let's see, 25, 35 gold, I think you can get from that one. And then Lamborghini Legends, of course, that one's really the Diablo SV series, so we probably won't get too far. That one requires a PR of 49.8, so with a 40.5 we're good distance away, but I'm sure we can probably go 50% at least. And maybe if we get lucky, maybe we can get to 75%, but but that's about 20 extra gold that we can get. So there's a lot of, because this car's featured in so many different series, you know, even when this car's PR may not be the highest in the group, you can still get make a pretty decent run in those series to claim recoup the cost, right? And considering if you were to go out and buy this car outright, it will cost you how much? 210 gold. So even if you get it with the showcase discount, it'll still cost you 168 gold. And remember, the cost of this running through this limited time series is 195 gold, but we get 50 of it back, so the net cost is 145. So that is actually cheaper than getting it through showcase discount, right? So it's more than 20% discount, and more importantly, we're getting the car with 32 upgrades, so that is good bargain if you ask me. All right, so let's find out how far we can go in the series with let's check the tier 4 PR, which is going to be at the Mazda Raceway. And this one's going to require PR of 25.8. So that's not terribly high. So obviously that's doable with the racing dollar upgrades alone. So that's at least 5 gold that we can claim, even if you don't decide to, for whatever reason, decide not to go ahead and win this car. And then tier 7 cup is what you're gonna need to complete to claim 50% completion, and that requires PR 29.9. So even 50% is doable with racing dollar upgrades alone. And then 75% completion. I said the tier 7 because technically you'll claim the 50% when you complete when you're in tier 8, but you don't have to do the cup. So, and kind of going with the same theme, tier 11 is what you need to get through in order to get the 75% completion reward of another, how much was it? 15 gold, right? And that is gonna be requiring 35. So that one, you're gonna need some gold upgrades, obviously. And then finally, we know the 100% completion requires PR of 40.5, which means basically you need to get all the upgrades except for the last 2 expensive upgrades in one in the last one in engine and the last one in body. We can skip those. All right, with that being said, let's do series overview. Okay, so tier 1 autocross at Hockenheim Grand Prix, elimination at Porsche Test Track Dynamic Circuit. That's always the one that you can play blockade to slow everybody down. And considering this car's horsepower, if you kind of get T-boned, I have a feeling that you'll be able to block them pretty hard. So you can really minimize the amount of distance your car travels in that series to extend the run, right? How long you can run through while without servicing the car, basically, or while the car is still in good condition. And tier 1, the cup is going to be at Silverstone National, 2 laps, and tier 1 of course does not have any PR requirement. And tier 2, we got endurance at Nürburgring Grand Prix, so maybe you'll have to run because it's such early tier. You unless you're super aggressive about bot training, you probably have to run probably 5-6 kilometers, I'd assume. Hunter is going to be at Dubai International, so that's a full lap. And then to wrap up tier 2, we got cup at Circuit of the Americas National Circuit, 2 laps with the PR requirement of 22.5. So as always, you do need some upgrades. I mean, they're all going to be racing dollars at the beginning, but you're going to need those done right away to get past the tier 2. Alright, so moving on to tier 3, we got speed record at Melbourne, which is usually doable even while the car is in critical condition. Head to head at Brands Hatch, single lap, so that's pretty short track. And tier 3 cup is going to be at Red Bull Ring Grand Prix, 2 laps. Oh, that's longer, with the PR requirement 24.3. Alright, and then moving on to tier 4, we got a drag race, of course. So that means we might have to get the car serviced. And then we got Speed Snap at Monza Road. And the cup for tier 4 for 25% completion is going to be at Mazda Raceway, 2 laps, and as we checked in earlier, PR requirement is 25.8. Right, moving on to tier 5, we got tier 4 drag race might require you to service the car the way it's been running because they're completely randomized now, the launch time. So that's a little annoying. But anyway, moving on to tier 5, we got Hunter at Spa, so that's a full lap that we got to do. And endurance at 24-hour circuit, depending on how aggressively you've been training your bots, your distance may vary. But tier 5, I'd expect still like 3-4 kilometers that you're gonna have to run, which is, I know, not very far. And the cup to wrap up tier 5 is gonna be at the Brickyard Road Course, 2 laps with the PR requirement of 27.2. Moving on to tier 6, we've got speed record at Daytona Motorcycle Course. So Daytona speed record, you know, it's gonna be impossible while the car's in red, so that is once again you might have to service the car. Although if you got all the necessary upgrades this early on, perhaps you might be able to run through. So it depends on how quickly you rush through your upgrades. But anyway, we got autocross at Catalonia Grand Prix, and then we got the cup at Berlin Circuit, 3 laps, and PR requirement is 28.6. Alright, moving on to tier 7, we got elimination at Silverstone Grand Prix, and head to head at Mount Panorama. Let's see, that's gotta be a single lap. Yep. And then cup is gonna be at Dubai Grand Prix, 2 laps. Alright, so we're covering a fair distance in this car, it seems like. And the PR requirement, as we checked in earlier, 29.9. Right. And tier 8, Hunter at Red Bull Ring National Circuit. So that's a pretty short circuit that we gotta do a lap. And endurance at the short road circuit of Porsche Test Track. So once again, depending on how you've been running, your target may vary. But by this point, if you've been fairly consistent with your bot training, I'd assume you only probably need to cover a couple of kilometers, maybe. And then the cup is going to be at Hockenheim National, and 3 laps, and this one requires PR 31.2. so in order to get past tier 8, you're going to have to start putting some gold upgrades, right? Because up till this point you didn't need any gold upgrades. Alright, and tier 9, we've got speed record at Catalunya National. And Catalunya National speed record, can you pull that off while the car is in critical condition? If you extend the main straight by turning around at the beginning, that definitely helps. And yeah, so I'll put that in maybe category of whether you need to service the car. Elimination at Monza Road Course should be doable even while your car is in red. And then the cup at Nürburgring Grand Prix is going to be 2 laps with the PR requirement of 32.5. Okay, moving on to next tier, tier 10. We got autocross at Dubai International, speed snap at Brands Hatch Indy Circuit, and the cup at Suzuka Grand Prix. Another 2-lap Grand Prix race with the PR requirement this time 33.8 to get through the tier 10. And tier 11, we got another drag race. So I'm just gonna say you probably need to service the car for any of these drag races. But we also have a head-to-head single lap Circuit of the Americas National Circuit, and the cup is at Bugatti Circuit, 3 laps with the PR requirement of 35. Right, as we checked earlier. And tier 12, we got the 75% completion tier. Got endurance at Nürburgring Mühlenbachschleife. So distance always varies depending on your bot training status. Autocross at Mount Panorama, probably take about a minute in this car. And the cup is going to be at Daytona Road Course, 3 laps, so that's of course going to be rolling start with the PR requirement 36.3. Right, so at this point you invested a ton of gold, well, let's say more gold than what you would get back. So you're at this point definitely, if you made it past 50%, start putting gold in, you really should go all the way to win. And as I said, this I don't know. I always have affinity for these older cars, so they're not to a modern standard. They're certainly not all that great at handling or anything, but it does. They're customizable, which is always fun. And they're just kind of fun cars to ride around in the track, I think. So alright, and then tier 13, we got Speed Snap at Melbourne. Should be easy. That's one of the easier ones, along with the Leipzig Dynamic Circuit. That's a pretty easy one. And then we got Head to Head at Laguna Seca, single lap. And then the Cup for tier 13 is going to be at Monza Road Course, 3 laps. So this is going to be a bit longer, with the PR requirement 37.6. Alright, moving on to the penultimate tier, tier 14. We got Hunter at Hockenheim National, Speed Record at Circuit of the Americas Grand Prix Circuit. And yeah, I think that one also is doable while the car is in red. And then the Cup is going to be at Catalunya Grand Prix, 3 laps with the PR requirement of 39. And then the final tier, tier 15, we got Elimination at Spa, which is always doable because the first corner is pretty close to the starting line. Autocross at Red Bull Ring Grand Prix. And then, as we checked earlier, the Cup, the final Cup, is going to be at the 24-hour circuit, Le Mans, 2 laps with the PR requirement of 40.5, which you can reach by getting just about every upgrade except for the last engine and last body upgrade, for the cost of, how much was it? 195 gold. Right. So there you have it. So hopefully the information you found in this video to be useful in figuring out how you want to tackle this limited time series. And as I said, this car is featured in so many different bonus series. It's kind of, it's a good opportunity to win it. And it's cheaper than buying it, as always. And oh, look at that, there's only 22 hours left as of current, as I'm making this video right now, on the race day event. And that's another event. Even if you cannot afford the gold upgrades to win the car, you can still get racing dollar upgrades only and make it through like first couple of stages and collect a few gold. So that's racing dollars for gold. So that's a rare occasion. So take advantage of that. And I guess Vantage GTE Championship still a couple of days to go. So yeah, 3 events at the same time here. But anyway, so that does it for this video. So in the next one, I'll probably make my way through the Countach Championship, the limited time series. So stay tuned for my playthrough video. But for now, that will do it for this one. So take care, and we'll see you later.